All right, welcome back here to the broadcast booth. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester here. Final match here of the Indiana Queens. Tandis O'Neal, Shelby New, a rematch here in that
we're in for a treat.
final of the winners bracket where these girls put on a show. We shouldn't expect anything less, but now Shelby's got to defeat Tandis O'Neal twice.
Yeah, and I expect this to go 2 games, honestly. I mean, if this is anything like what we just saw a couple games ago, it's going to be exciting and go a couple matches.
All right, first match underway here. Tandis O'Neal comes in light and just shreds the rack.
Continues to do what she's been doing.
Yeah, and we're going to welcome in once again Natalie Tackett here in the broadcast booth. Natalie's going to offer us her insight into this championship match, and
it's going to be a good one. We already saw Tandis kick it off with a heater there.
And Shelby New with a solid strike right back. And Tandis's ball really making the pins dance a little bit differently than what Shelby's ball does. Both players getting to that same hook spot, just a little bit different of an angle getting to that spot, as Tandis a little left of where Shelby's playing. But both players are locked in, and I'm sure these ladies know they're going to have to shoot a big game in order to win this.
Oh, 100%. I think, you know, they both have some speed behind what they're doing too, and I think it's allowed them to stay that far right a majority of the day.
Yeah, that's one thing we haven't seen is these right-handers who are outside have to move in. They're staying in the same way, same part of the lane most of the day.
Yeah, nobody really left of like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody trying to play that 10 and out window. And both these players have been lined up pretty much all day long. Now, the difference will be if Shelby overthrows one like she did kind of there. Tandis's roll a little bit differently, reads the back end maybe a little bit stronger. That's where Tandis's advantage could be in this match.
Sure. See if she can get the early double here.
Again, championship match of the Indiana Queens here from Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester, Natalie Tackett, defending champion here, the 2024 champ, in the broadcast booth with us, giving her her insight. As again, that light hit for Tandis has been money.
Money. That means you have the right ball in your hand.
Is that what
you
doing
the right
something
things.
that you said you didn't have to
Did not have that today.
Oh, well, we know what you are capable of doing. We witnessed that last year. You kind of just snuck up on everybody. You were kind of middle of the pack in qualifying, right? And just kind of lost, I think, a close match early, and then just kept grinding your way through that elimination bracket all the way to the championship.
Oh, and you know what? Shelby snuck into this cut.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And look where she's at. I mean, she's definitely a match play warrior, that's for sure.
She got that in, yeah.
Yep, first mistake by Tandis there.
And here we are again. Kyle Luckett, 32nd seed in the Masters. Shelby sneaks into the last, cut score, and
yeah, 16th.
we could see a repeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And this in the winner's bracket, I'm sure, I don't know what you felt like, but you probably felt like if you won that first match, you had the advantage because now all the pressure then goes to the person that had that kind of mulligan in their pocket. Now the pressure was back on them, right? You were kind of freewheeling from that standpoint.
Right.
So the first mistake there by Tandis. But you know one thing, she's in one of her earlier matches before the semifinal match in the winner's bracket, she opened in the first frame, never really phased her any, ends up throwing the next 8. So I'm sure Tandis is not too worried about that mistake there in the third frame. It's a long game.
It is a long game.
Boy, and that light hit is money in this house, too. I felt like that's where you want to be. That good, solid light mixer seems to carry a very high percentage of the time.
Yeah, the pins were really flying. I mean, I didn't bowl great, but I had a few washouts that were picked in an abstract way. Let's just put it that way, because the pins were moving.
All right. This is going to tell a big story right here. Shelby with a strike in the third, looking to double here in the fourth frame. She can take a 17-pin lead here over Tandis. Yep.
Ooh, great shot.
And when Shelby gets confident, you can really see it. She's feeling good about herself right now, but Tandis hasn't flinched all day long.
And she's the undefeated, so
Yeah.
Shelby's going to have to defeat her twice, correct?
Correct.
That's right.
Well, you got the 11 seed versus the 16 seed. And we always talk about, and you probably know too, seeding is just a number, right? The player dictates everything, not the seed.
Oh, 100%.
And everybody knew when Shelby snuck in, even as a 16 seed, she was a major threat to win this. Now, is that an overcorrection from the previous shot in your mind?
It could have been. It could have been.
Comes in high, fortunate to leave just the 9-pin. Again, want to thank everyone for sticking around with us today here from the championship lanes, the Indiana Queens, the marquee major here in the state of Indiana. And a win here goes even farther into that Queens, National Queens competition. And how cool is it for you to come back knowing, you come back and you see your name on that banner down there on the approach. How cool is that for you?
I took a picture.
Did you? Chad and I laughed earlier on today that we talked about your win, and EJ had a chance to match you later that day, right? Or the next day, and unfortunately for him, he did come up short. But that would have been really cool to have a back-to-back Tackett win.
It would have been, yeah.
And we talked to him later on, and he said it was so cool being able to watch the live stream and watch you win. And
yeah, you guys do an amazing job streaming everything in Indiana for us to be able to watch from wherever we are. We tune in when we can. Life is crazy now, but we appreciate the work you guys do to bring this stuff to the live stream.
Well, we appreciate that as well.
I had a feeling she was going to come back from that pretty strong.
Yeah, well, you guys are considered bowling royalty now. You realize that?
I have a tiara.
Oh. All right, now Shelby New working on a double here, fifth frame. Can take a 27-pin lead with a strike here.
Oh.
Ooh, 2-4-5, and there's that little miss right. That's one thing about Shelby's ball and her speed. If she misses a little right, she doesn't have enough to come back, where Tandis does have a little stronger roll, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Tandis has a better chance of missing right and getting away with it, getting the mixer.
Yeah, she talked to us in between one of the rounds when she was in the winner's bracket, and she was trying to play the friction out right near the gutter. And it was evident in the match, too, with Shelby in that winner's finals bracket, where she missed a little right, but she caught a little more of it, and that ball came screaming back and just shredded the rack. But that was what Tandis was looking for from Shelby right there, was a little bit of an opening. Now 87 in the fourth, only down 14 is Tandis O'Neill.
Uh-oh.
That one was inside a little bit. Yeah, just the 4, and the 9 falls late. And we talked about, the one thing that's really cool when you are a past winner And I laughed because, I made a comment to you a little bit earlier today is you get your name announced before every squad. And then
Right.
sure enough, the only person that Jeff forgot in the first squad was the defending champion.
It happens. He said, I copy-pasted my work from the year before, and I forgot to add the latest champion. I said, Jeff, our lives are crazy. It's totally fine. We're here to bowl. We'll be all right.
And major mistake for Shelby. New misses the 4-pin.
I think
Just
this will
open
be
the door.
if Tandis can strike here, this will be a momentum shift in her favor for sure. And I forgot to mention this, but her and I were chatting earlier that she was trying to stay really in the same part of the lane all day, but just go through the balls. So she's definitely been making some ball adjustments, but trying to play that far right because it's been working so well for her. So if she could get ahead of those ball changes and just stay in that lane, she knew she was going to see some success today. So we'll see if she can capitalize here.
Huge shot here in the 6th, working on a strike. Right lane. She could tell she missed a little left, it looked like there.
Looked a little timid.
You knew from her body language that was a big shot in her mind, right?
Right.
And here's the thing. You put a little pressure on yourself when you're the undefeated player. You want to get it done in one game.
Yeah.
You don't want to give the Natalie Tackett's of the world, right? That extra game in the championship match, right? You're trying to finish this in game number 1.
That's when you've bowled this many games today. That's definitely ideal. I know Tandis bowled the first squad. She re-entered because I think she got to -7 or +7, and she thought, it's probably not enough. And so it's a lot of bowling. So if you can cap it off in a 1-game final match, that is ideal in this situation.
Well, first off, you got to make the spare.
Very good.
And she converts the 6-10. Really, only a 2-pin match right now. Now you just got to kind of calm the nerves, right? And focus on, we always talk about, too, as bowlers, sometimes you got to stay out of your own way. We think about things too much or just focus on, and I'm sure those are things that EJ probably was telling himself when he was going through his spells of not being able to succeed on TV, is sometimes you just got to stay out of your own way and let the talent and your ability just show itself.
Name of the game. I mean, I think that's the difference between some of the success you see with players on tour and some that you don't. Plenty of people are physically capable.
Back-to-back shaky shots here
Yeah.
right after Shelby gives Tandis all the opportunity. And now staring at the 3-6-7-10. This is a makeable split. After these last 2 shots, is when Tandis comes back up, what do you think she's trying to tell herself to do here moving forward in this game?
I think she just needs to commit. She needs to commit and trust the process that she's been doing all day. I would be reaffirming to myself that, hey, you got this. You know the shot. Commit to it.
Getting a little help here from Billy Hibbard behind us here. Billy, a good player in his own right. Trying to get that calming voice maybe. Sometimes as players, we don't see the obvious sometimes, right? And somebody behind us sees the obvious, and you just need that that knowledge of what this is what I need to do here, as Shelby New just wipes the rack clean here in the 7th frame. And now if you're Shelby, you gave your opponent an opportunity and then she doesn't take it. Now Shelby probably feeling a little bit better about herself coming in here in this late stages of this game here.
Absolutely.
And Tandis knows she probably had her chance right there, right? Working on a strike, your opponent just opens. You throw a double there, and then you might be able to close this out. Now you give life to one of the biggest threats here in this tournament.
Wow.
And that might be all you get, right?
Yeah, a late double in the perfect place.
All right, Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester, and Natalie Tackett here in the broadcast booth. Indiana Queens championship match, Tandis O'Neal and Shelby New. Tandis, the undefeated player. So Shelby wins this game. She'll have to beat her again. Great shot.
There it is.
208 possible out there for Tandis O'Neal. Shelby kind of on a two-team pace here, so she's going to need some assistance from Shelby. But first, the important part right here for Tandis is setting herself up here in the 9th frame. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, she got out of the 710.
It fell late, but she needed to strike right there.
Double would have been huge.
Mm-hmm.
It applied a little bit of pressure. Not that Shelby can't handle that, because she certainly can, but
That's the hit that Tandis has been carrying all day long. That time, almost a 710. I feel like with today's equipment and the way the pins are, you see a lot of pocket 710s where the 5-pin just goes straight back rather than over and taking out the 7. And I think it's the worst break in bowling, to be honest with you.
it really is.
And you just get nothing out of it, right? You hit the pocket and you just get nothing.
Nothing out of it.
All right, spare there for Tandis, and now she's staring at 188. She's going to have some major help here.
Major.
So now, if Shelby closes this game out, if you're Tandis, what are you thinking about here as you go into game number 2?
I mean, she made a great shot on the right lane. The one on the left really wasn't that bad either. You know, just build it up, build that confidence up to get through the next match. Maybe try another ball. I mean, if you've already lost, what do you have to lose? See if something looks a little better than what you're currently throwing. But she got up and made a great shot on the right lane. Pretty good on the left. Like you said, she's been getting those hits all day. That could have been a one-off for all we know. So, I mean, just keep building on the good shot making and take it right into the next game.
Well, now Shelby New won her 2020 match against her sister in this situation where she came out of the elimination bracket. You did the same thing last year. If you're Shelby now that you've won this game, what are you thinking, or what were you thinking at that point going into that next match, that you felt you had all the momentum?
You definitely have it. I mean, look at this now. She's coming off a 4-bagger. The momentum is definitely there. She knows she can make the shots. It's keeping it going into the next match and saying one more time, but also one shot at a time.
Right, right. And sometimes, you know, we tell ourselves, too, you have to want it more than allowing the fear of failure, right?
100%.
That's the difficult thing, and that's when you talk about, you hear the greatest players in the world in any of their sport, they all have, you know, people that talk them through things, those sports psychiatrists, right, that you try to get the proper thoughts in your mind before you execute anything. And sometimes that's the biggest challenge in sports.
Oh, yeah, and I feel in bowling, too. I mean, even through my college career, visualization, manifestation, all of the things that just can get you in that right mindset to compete at your very best.
Well, Shelby's going to finish with 224. And both players are getting maybe more tired mentally than anything, right?
Oh, yeah. Bowling is so mentally draining. I mean, there's physicality to it, but between the ears is where you just get exhausted. Like, I have an hour and 15-minute drive home. I will probably drive in silence. And I only bowl the qualifying rounds.
Oh, no audiobook or anything like that?
Yeah, nothing.
A podcast on white noise. Oh, as Tanis O'Neal
Beautiful
strikes.
shot.
An important 10th frame, though, here,
She
right?
went and got another ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought, even though the match, this is an important 10th frame for her. Figure out what you need to do. She's making a ball change. She's talking to Billy here behind us and getting his input. He's helped her pretty much all day long. Looks like she's gone to maybe a theorem
Yeah, I believe that's what
by
it is.
track. One of the top balls from this previous bowling season, and still a lot of players throwing that ball.
Yeah, and Billy has suggested for her to move a little bit left to see what the ball does. See if it opens up the lane anymore for her.
We know one thing, that ball is very responsive down lane. So, all right, match, I should say game number 1 here of our championship match concluded here. Shelby New defeats Tanis O'Neal. We're going to have a winner take all here. Game number 2 in our title match. We'll be back for that on Savage Bowling TV right after this.
Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop is your go-to destination for all things bowling. You'll find the top brands in bowling balls from Storm, Roto-Grip, 900 Global, Brunswick, Hammer, Motive, and more. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just rolling for fun, we've got the perfect gear to up your game. From bags, shoes, accessories, and apparel, Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop has it all. Don't settle for anything less than victory. Swing by Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shop with locations inside Royal Pin Woodland, Western, and Expo in Indianapolis. Pinhead's Entertainment Center has it all. A modern-style bowling alley with 2 private bowling suites. Alley's Ale House serves up a chef-crafted menu daily, featuring signature handcrafted cocktails and over 30 draft options. The arcade at Pinhead's offers 90-plus games, including old-school games, Golden Tee, and virtual reality with top-tier prizes. Host large events or meetings in the multifunction banquet room that can accommodate up to 80 guests. Visit, call, or reserve online today. Off State Road 37 next to Honda of Fishers.
Keep your vehicle running like new. Stop by A1 Automotive to get an honest rundown of what your vehicle needs or doesn't need. It's all part of their no pressure, no upsell environment. Find them online at a1cardoctors.com or stop in today right off Coliseum across from Tractor Supply. A1 Automotive.
All right, welcome back here. Savage Bowling TV here. Indiana Queens championship match, game number 2. And Shelby New defeated Tanis O'Neal, and now must-win match for both players. Winner takes all, the tiara, the trophy, the check. Someone with great experience in that just last year, Natalie Tackett, joining us here in the broadcast booth, and the miracle of sound, right? You can.
Wow.
Well, you should have kicked me in the shin there. Oh, so we had to turn up Natalie's headset there. She's all better now.
Only took 2 games.
We were just trying to tell you what silence was going to be like on the way home.
That's right.
That.
All right, Shelby New now with a 10-pin there, spare. Now, Tanis making that ball change there in the 10th frame. This is going to be a big sign here of what this match could be. We know Shelby is lined up. Can Tanis now get settled in here in this title match? Winner take all here. Game number 2. Oh, great shot. What'd you think of that?
That was
Absolutely
good.
beautiful. Way to trust the ball change. I know she threw it in the 10th, but to start out the match, huge.
Now you have a lot of college bowling experience too as well. That's been a big part of the development of a lot of these young players bowling in college, getting that experience in pressure situations.
I think that's what you get the most out of college bowling. I mean, you get a lot of life lessons, but I mean, as far as on the lane, definitely one of the biggest things is being in pressure situations because you're in a team setting. More is at stake, I feel like, because what you're doing affects a larger group and not just you personally. But I think, it's the perfect segue into competing at a higher level.
Comes in like,
what a messenger.
Headpin comes back and just tomahawks the 10. Felony there on the 10 pin. Assault. And now, what does that tell Shelby New right there?
She knows that this is going to be a good match. I mean, she watched Tanis make the ball change in the 10th. I mean, she's gonna put up some good shots, and she knows this is probably gonna be a high-scoring match. So execution at its best.
Oh, no better light trip of the 5-7. Boy, she owns that shot right there, Chad.
Calm and collected.
We've seen a lot of that today, yeah.
She's been in this situation enough. You know, she's just up there to make her shots. She looks like she's very aware of herself and what she needs to do. It's that subtle confidence she's giving off.
Now to retake the lead. Oh, and it just sits high flush.
Push, baby.
10 pins disappear from the deck. And now Tandis O'Neal knows, too, that this is going to be another boxing match, just like that final of the winner's bracket. All right, Tandis O'Neal now. Double to start this match. Oh, what a shot there. Boy, you know, when you have the 6-pin coming off the wall and tomahawking the 10 out, that's when you know the ball is really going through the pins the right way and the ball is rolling in the right part of the lane.
Oh, yeah, it was a very, very good ball change. Whether it was a suggestion of Billy or it was Tandis's idea, it was definitely the right one.
You know, when you're bowling and you have that little half pocket hit and the 4 saws out the 7, you feel a lot more confident, don't you?
Oh, 100%.
Now, looking to make it 4 in a row here. Winner takes all. Oh, that lane looks to be just a little tighter down lane.
Just a little bit.
For her. Last one she got the messenger off the wall. This time now the flat 10. Be interesting to see what kind of adjustment she makes on this left lane. You know, we talk about, and I'm sure the same for EJ, you know, when you're winning, the money is great, but that title and being recognized as a champion means so much more to your legacy, correct?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it etches you in history in a different way. You know, for EJ specifically on the tour, you know, he's approaching his 26th title. And when he does so, he ties Don Johnson. And he becomes one of the top 10 winningest players on the PBA Tour. Like, money can't.
Oh, gosh.
She missed the 10 pin.
Money can't give you that.
Right.
Those kind of stats.
Boy, a huge mistake by Tandis, and she knows it. Now, can the shark smell blood in the water?
I think so.
That's a little right. Oh yeah.
Bucket.
Yeah, that's been her miss. Her miss has been a miss a right, and it doesn't recover. And that's the thing. This doesn't, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but Shelby spins the ball a little bit more. The track rotation is different, where Tandis is a little more back up behind the ball. And that different roll right there gets her to read the ball a little bit earlier for Tandis, where Shelby, if she misses right, can't get the ball to recover.
Right.
A little more axis rotation is what we would want to say for Shelby. Good spare. Great spare.
Telling herself to calm down a little there.
Yeah, a little, amped up. She knew it was a big shot. Well, the first thing we just talked about, does shark smell blood in the water? She knew that was a moment to really step on it.
Definitely.
Oh, my goodness.
She
Wow.
got out of that one for sure.
That looked
Great
like
break.
the 4-6-7, then the 6-7, and then a strike. What a break for Shelby New.
Better to erase that one from the memory.
Well, and that's why Mike Albee tells us every time he bowled, he never looked at what his opponent did. He didn't want to feel anything. He wanted to feel internally what he needed to do on his next shot.
Oh, absolutely, because you can. If you sit there and watch what your opponent is doing and a hit like that happens, it can get to you.
Now, Tandis has to realize she's in the lead.
Better shot.
She
Beautiful.
really, and here's the key. She's much better on this right lane. Unfortunately for her, she finishes on the left.
We'll see what happens here. If she can pull this double, would be huge, because then she'll see it. She'll see it on the left, and then we'll see what Shelby follows up with. I knew this was going to be a great final match, and it is shaping up to be so.
This is the shot of the tournament, in my opinion, right here for Tandis. Coming off a flat 10, and then she missed it. What does she do here in the 6th frame? Just packs 10 in the pit.
That's got to do a lot for her confidence right there, knowing that she can carry.
Sometimes all you have to do is see it once. I feel like that's something EJ's so good at. He sees it. He sees the right motion, and you go, uh-oh.
Well, and that's, you listen to him, and most guys they can't stand urethane. He loves it when his opponents use urethane. He's figured out the way to shim it, and he gets that little extra hold. And, he made that comment, I believe, in the final round of the Nevada Classic, where he was talking to Tom Hess, and Tom Hess, he goes, he started out with a bad game, but then came back. He goes, I hit a pair where they were throwing urethane on it before, and I love it. So,
Yeah, he just uses it. It's been that way for a few years. Anytime I see a bunch of urethane, I'm like, oh yeah.
And most people are stunned that he doesn't throw urethane very much, but he uses everybody else's urethane to his advantage, and he's really done that quite well.
Well, we have the Venom Shock.
Yeah.
No, he'll tell you too, like, Zach likes to use urethane every now and again, and Zach just has like a better ball roll for that and the microcell polymers that Motive has to offer. So EJ has combated it by finding a way to use what he has and what he's good at on top of what everybody else is doing with urethane. So just another thing you can add to his list.
All right, coming off the spare here. And, boy, she just rips the 10 out.
She didn't act like she liked it right at first.
Strike in the 7th. 126 in the 6th. But Tandis can jump out to a 21-pin lead here with a strike in the 7th frame here. She's done a good job of erasing that mishap there in the 4th frame here with good shots in the 5th and 6th. Again, winner takes all. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester, and Natalie Tackett here in the broadcast booth for this championship match. We appreciate Natalie sticking around here, delaying her hour and 15-minute drive home.
In silence.
Now, huge shot in this match right here, 7th frame, right lane. Oh, so much pressure here, and it's so cool to watch these two young ladies perform at such a high level in stressful situations.
I'm stressed, and I'm sitting here. No, they've been in situations, I don't know Shelby's history if she bowled in college or anything, but I know that she's in this position a lot in this tournament and in this event, and Tandis has a lot of college experience she's coming off of. So I've been saying this whole time, I am not surprised that this match is shaping up the way that it is, because they're both so good. so good at executing, and it almost feels like they're nerves of steel.
That needs to hook.
Her.
Oh!
And it
My.
does. And it does.
Hey, you know,
Oh.
I'm just glad we got a preview of this during the winners bracket championship match, because this is shaping up to be better.
You know, that's like finding something really good. You thought it was going to be good, but it was even better.
Well, we heard that thumb pop again.
That's like finding a $20 bill in your your glove compartment of your vehicle. You know, it's like unfound, treasure right there. And then Shelby New comes right back with a light pocket, leaving the 7-pin. And now, how quickly this game has changed right here late in the stages. All right, good spare there. Still 226 max score. 220 pace still for, 230 pace really for Tandis O'Neal. So Shelby needs to strike here in the 9th frame and then hope for a little bit of help from Tandis. Oh, little bit high 4-pin. She's tripped that before. Couldn't get it done here. It's going to leave her in the 2 teens. Right now, Tandis just needs to fill frames. This is where you don't want to score watch either. You just want to tell yourself, just execute here. Don't worry about anything else.
Keep doing what you're doing.
You hear the greats say that a lot. Jason Belmonte, I remember telling a story at the Masters when it was in Green Bay. Said he was really struggling. He said, for the first time as I'm bowling my qualifying squad, I was looking at the scoreboard and looking at what I had to do to finish with. And he said, I'd never been at that point. And he goes, that's when I knew I just had to mentally reset. And you never want to keep score in your mind or think, okay, if I strike out, I have this, right? You just want to go execute each shot.
Yeah, your next shot is the most important shot, because without the next one, you can't do what you need to do.
Here we go. 9th frame for Tandis, working on a 4-bagger.
Oh,
Great shot.
it's all right.
4-pin. Okay, just needs to spare here. She knew if she got that one, it pretty much locked the match up. And this was her good lane. What a ball change here. And she's going to go, she's going to go straight. She grabbed her strike ball at first and thought she was going to hook at it, but now she's going to take that out of the equation and go straight at it. At this point, too, regardless, every spare is difficult when you're in this situation. You just got to go through the process and tell yourself what's right. All right. I get to this point, too. I'll be honest, Natalie. I get nervous for everybody when I'm watching because I know what it feels like to be in this situation.
Well, on both sides of it, too.
Yeah.
You know, you can't help. You're right. You can't help but feel the nerves for everybody involved.
All right. Any type of good count here on this ball. 236 max score. Tandis O'Neal will be your 2025 Indiana Queens champion. There it is, folks, on a solid 9 to boot. Hoping to strike there to clinch the win, but that's enough. Tandis O'Neal survives the winner's bracket and survives the challenge from Shelby New, the 2020 champion, to claim her first title here in the state of Indiana. And one thing a lot of people don't know, Tandis had a really, it doesn't matter. Tandis O'Neill had a really good high school career as well. She can't believe it. Well, believe it, because it just happened. Congratulations to Tandis O'Neill.
And you know what? We have to give a hats off to Shelby's performance today, because to make the top 16, I know she had a good string of strikes in that final game. Like, she was minus, and she knew she needed to get a good number out, and she did. And then she worked her way through these matches in the match play rounds to this point. So she should be very proud of what she did today.
Well, Shelby New proved to everyone that she is a threat to win this every year.
Absolutely.
And to run the ladder and bowl so well, I know it's difficult for her to come up short. It's never fun losing.
Never fun.
But she can take a little bit of satisfaction to know that when she shows up to the bowling center, she's one of them that they're thinking, I got to beat her. And Tandis O'Neill did it today, and it's starting to sink in. Well, when we come back, we're going to have the tiara and check presentation to our champion, Tandis O'Neill. We'll be back here on Savage Bowling TV. All right, welcome back here to Championship Lanes. Indiana Queens champion here, Tandis O'Neill. But joining me first with the trophy presentation is the president of the Indiana State USBC, Linda Isaacs. Linda, go ahead.
Tandis, great bowling today, and congratulations on this event. We're going to present you with your crown. Oh. Good enough. Oh, sorry. And your trophy. Thanks. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Linda. Tandis, what a day today has been, right? Undefeated. You bowled Shelby in the final of the winner's bracket and had an unbelievable match against her. Going through your mind, you lose that first game. What's going through your mind going into game number 2?
Needed a ball change. So I was a little bit nervous, but I knew I had that safety net of the 2 games. So I felt confident, forgot about the last game, just went into the next game with the same energy and the same mentality that I've had all day. I've been working really hard on body language and not letting things affect me, and I really feel like that showed today and helped me get to the end.
I know you got a little bit of help here in the back from Billy Hibbert. How much did he help you in some of these ball changes and moves you made today?
Pretty much everything except the last one was on my own, thanks to college and Jerica and Jordan, but he's just been back there for me to come back and talk to, which is something that really helps me. It's not even really talking about bowling, but going back there and cracking a joke or something. So he's just more like a comfort person today, but he did assist in the theorem at the end.
Now, you get to come back as the defending champion next year. How cool is it, though, when you walk into this bowling center, you're going to see a banner with your name on it?
It's so exciting. I've been waiting on my adult career since I started bowling in 5th grade, and it's fun to walk in here and feel like I belong. I know I mentioned earlier, I don't always have that confidence in myself, but after today, I've proven to myself, especially, that I can keep up with everyone here, and I deserve to be here too.
Now, you got a little bit more bowling to do even after this, right? You got sectionals coming up for Marion.
Yep, we have sectionals next weekend, and then hopefully we get the NAIA bid, and we'll find out on Monday, I think.
All right. Well, congratulations. Great bowling all day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Your champion, Tandis O'Neill. We'll be back here on Savage Bowling TV to wrap up today's festivities. All right. We're back here in the broadcooth booth. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester, wrapping up things here from Championship Lanes in the 2025 Indiana Queens. Tandis O'Neill, your champion. And, man, what a day for the ladies. It seems like we come here every year, Chad, and it never disappoints.
Always a lot of drama, always a lot of close matches, and that's just what this tournament has become every year that we've done it. And it's one of my favorite tournaments that we do every year.
Well, and I'm sure Shelby New disappointed to come up in second place again. But, however, she has made a statement once again that when you come to the Queens and she's entered, she's one to beat.
Yeah, she always figures that it's got to go through her. and now she's finished second again, but she'll be back here next year.
Absolutely. Well, what a day today has been here at the Indiana Queens, but that'll wrap things up here from Championship Lanes. We'll be back on the air 1 week from today. We'll be in Kokomo for the Indiana All-State High School event, and that sure will be an exciting.
Yeah, the best high school bowlers in the state coming together for a bunch of scholarship money, and it should be a good time.
Hey, thanks for filling in today.
Yeah, not bad.
All right.
I'll give Mike his job back next week.
All right, we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast here on Savage Bowling TV. That'll conclude our coverage from the Indiana Queens. Once again, your champion, Tandis O'Neill.